Welcome to my tutorial on creating a tracking file using ImageJ and Animal Tracker for the Morris Water Maze. You should have your protocol in front of you so you can follow along with the video. The first thing is to have the ImageJ software open, which I already have it opened, and you want to open the file that you want to work with. So I'm going to be working on mouse 39, day 3, and trial number 2. Click open. So the AVI reader box will pop up, and you'll want to uncheck virtual stack and check convert to grayscale. Click OK. And the file will be processing right here. As you can see, there's a status bar. Once this is done, a new window will pop up. Now, this is a video window. There's a play button here, and there's a scroller right here. You can scroll to actually see the mouse go into the maze. The file name is at the top of the window right here. 39 is the mouse, day 3 is the day of the trial, and 2 signifies that's the second trial. So what you'll want to do next is open up the tracking portion of the software. You'll want to go back to ImageJ, click on Plugins, Animal Tracker, and then Tracker. Click on that. A tracker window will now pop up. The software is quite finicky, so you should really just do things in order. You need to set the active image, but before you do that, you just want to click on this window again, the window that you're working with. Click on Set Active Image. What happens is a new window will pop up, and it'll say Processing Window. I'll go into the processing window later. That comes at a later step. But now what you'll want to do is go back to the video window, the 39 one, and we're going to remove the mouse from the background, at least in the background of the software. This will make more sense as you go through it. So while you're on this window, hit Set Filters on the tracker window. A new box will pop up, Filter Settings. It should already be at Background Subtractor. If not, you have to pick that. It's a pull-down menu. You want to click Add. A new line will come up, Background Subtractor, and then click on Settings. Now a new window will pop up that says Background Subtractor. What you'll need to do is you'll need to set the image and add 3 frames to remove the mouse. So once again, the program is finicky. Go back to this, click on this to make sure that's clicked on. Then hit Set Image. Okay, there's really going to be no notification that that's actually done. So that's why you really have to go in order to make sure that it's done. Now you'll want to pick 3 frames and click Add Frame. The 3 frames you want to select are frames where you can clearly see the mouse in 3 different positions. So for example, you would not add a frame here because you don't even see the mouse. Nor would you add the frame here with like the hand, the mouse is not very clear. It doesn't really matter where you pick as long as it's clear. So right here, this is pretty clear. I would click Add Frame. I'd scroll some more. You don't want to just like scroll by a couple frames, you know, it's pretty much the same position. You just want to just go to a totally different area. So right here, Add Frame. And I can just go right here. I can go, let's see, where else should I pick? Ooh, okay, this seems fine to me. Add Frame. All right. You can see if the mouse was successfully removed or not by clicking on Show Filter. So you don't see the mouse. The mouse is gone. So it successfully removed the mouse from the video. This new medium image window is your verification. So you can close this window now, and you can click Done on the Background Subtractor window. Click OK on the Filter Settings window. And now you're ready to move on to the next step, which is probably the most important step. So now you want to click on the Processing window. In this lower left-hand corner, there's a pull-down window. This part is especially finicky. If you pick the wrong one, you more or less have to start the whole process over again, just because for some reason, you just can't go back and forth with these settings. It remembers it in a weird way, and it gets very, very messy. So you want to pick filtered. Click on that. What should happen is the screen for the processing window should turn black and the mouse should be white. What we're going to do now is set the threshold. So you want to click on set threshold on the tracker window. A thresholds box will pop up. It should have defaulted to grayscale threshold. You want to click OK. And now a new threshold box will pop up and your processing window should turn completely red, minus the mouse, like so. You're going to be able to start making adjustments with these scroll buttons right here. There's 2 of them. This should also read default and red. The goal now is to make the mouse red without other parts of the maze being red. That's how this whole tracking software works. So, for example, like right here, you're not going to really track it. Usually this bottom one goes all the way there, and this top one is the one that you'll start adjusting. So for example, if you leave it like so, this is not very good because you can see red all over the maze. So when it's actually tracking, it's not going to know where to track. You want to keep on moving this until pretty much it's just the mouse. You don't want to go too much where the mouse is not, it only has highlighting a small portion of the mouse. So I think this is pretty good. I see a little bit of red on the tail. Not quite sure how badly that'll affect things, but let's see. Different files will give you different results. Sometimes it's easier than others. So once this is done, you click OK. And now you're going to set your first and last frame. You do this by going back to your video window. So you'll want to scroll to the first frame. And by the first frame, I mean the first frame where the mouse actually gets dropped in. So in this case, the mouse is in the water. I start the maze usually when the mouse is about like so. You can clearly see the mouse. It's not fully submerged. And I would click Show Blobs. So a yellow square should highlight the mouse. Sometimes you'll see multiple small squares. Usually that's okay. If you see, basically the square has to be highlighted on the mouse. So you click on, once you click on it, it'll turn red. You'll also need to note the frame or the seconds. So this is when you also want to open the sheet, the template that you're working with for this specific mouse. I already have it open, so right here. So I actually already did I did the first trial already, so this is the second trial. So what we're going to do is 5.57, that's the first frame, 5.57, so you type it into that box. This is drop position 1, so this is your second trial. And now we will pick the last frame. The last frame is the frame where the mouse successfully finds the platform, or if 60 seconds has elapsed from the starting time. So in this case, it would be 65.57. But the mouse will find the platform on this one. See, it found the platform. The last frame is the frame where it actually touches the platform. So it's still swimming right here. You have to make somewhat of a judgment call to see if it's no longer. It's easier to actually use your left and right keys to go actually frame by frame. You can see it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, still moving. I believe that you can kind of see the outline of the platform. It's on the platform for quite a bit. I'd actually back it up a little bit because the moment that counts is when the mouse actually successfully finds the platform. So I believe this is right here is when the mouse actually touches the platform. So it's 18.8 seconds. You'll click on set last frame, frame number 564, click OK. So one notated on your record. So it's 18.8 seconds. 0.8 seconds. 18.8 seconds. Okay. So now you can actually start tracking. So you'll click start tracking on the tracker window, and a message box will confirm that the tracking has finished. So you'll click OK. You need to verify that it actually tracked properly. And you do this by scrolling on the video window and see. So this looks pretty good. You can see the yellow line. When it tracks improperly, you'll see that the yellow line is not following the mouse. It may just go, dart or whatnot. And when that happens, you'll need to go back to the threshold to adjust that. That's usually a threshold problem where it's sensing red in other areas. It's also possible that you did not remove the mouse properly from the background. So that's another troubleshooting possibility. So now that this actually, we see that this actually works, we will export the file. So just click on export tracking. Leave the file name the way that it is. It'll have a dash track to it. It's a text file. Just click save and it'll say done. You'll also want to save the file itself with the tracking. So you'll just click on save as AVI. Leave it as compression with the JPEG, frame rate 30 frames per second, click OK. And for here, you need to just add something to the file name. So at the end of the file, I'm just going to add a dash and track. Click save. And here's the status bar. So the file is saving right now. And once it's done saving, there's one last thing to do. So it's almost done. It's almost done. Okay, so now it's done. Once the status bar is finished, it doesn't give you any other indication, but the status bar is finished. So you'll want to go to the last frame with the yellow tracking line. So here, remember, it was 18.8 was when it found it, so the line will disappear. You just back up one, and you can see that line. You want to screen cap just this box right here. You can do that by going to grab if you're using a Mac, clicking on capture at the top, selecting window. The window grab window will pop up. Once you click choose window, your mouse scroller should turn into your mouse arrow should turn into a little camera. You just click on the window and it'll just save this window. Click on file, save, and just pick whatever file that you were working with. So we know it was 39 day 3.2. If you just click on the one with the track with the AVI, it's not going to override it. And then click save because it'll just saves the file name consistently. And now you have your file name. You can X out and you're now done. You just close these windows and you can move on to the next one. So as you can see in the end, you should have three tracking files. You'll have your tracking text file. This is the actual tracking file. You'll have your AVI, which is what's gonna just show you the video, but with the yellow line. And lastly, you just have a file that has the image of the mouse and its path. So that's it. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful. Now you can get to work. Thank you.